Ever since the reveal of the Shang-Chi trailer, there's been a lot of buzz for this film, which is coming at us in early September. And if you look everywhere online, most of the reaction has been overwhelmingly positive. Until you go on and look at the reaction that the film is having in China, and it's definitely not what Disney wants. So while looking at some of the replies on all the Disney pages and of course Disney's YouTube and everything, it's pretty much overwhelmingly positive. Like, I would say almost as positive as any MCU project. There's of course always your, Disney pushing the agenda and all that, which we're not talking about here, because overwhelmingly it's been positive pretty much everywhere I look, from most websites to reactions. Now, when China comes into play with this film, quite clearly this is a market that everybody wants to try to break in at an even bigger level, because it is going to actually become the #1 box office market, and in some instances it already is, depending on which film you look at and the year-to-year, total, I guess, tickets sold and everything. But that's not what we're going to talk about, because we're talking about how the trailer is doing. If you look at it in the United States, it's doing pretty good. I mean, the reactions are pretty positive, so that's great. Again, that's a great indicator. But if you start looking at some of the international accounts, which people have been posting online, such as Taiwan, Hong Kong, and various other locations in China, it's about a 50-50 split. And people are definitely not as excited as I think Disney wants them to be. And from what we can see, from what people have gathered from people in China posting their reaction and some people posting their own video reactions and all that, the overwhelming negativity comes out of the fact that the film is coming from the West. It's being made by Westerners, and it's not being made directly in China by Chinese people and everybody there being involved being from China. So it's sort of this weird outsiders are coming in. And we don't want that, because if you're making a film about a Chinese character targeted at China with Chinese roots, maybe go for the Chinese audience and let the Chinese people direct it. But at the same time, I understand Disney's reluctance to do more in China, because for Mulan, having a 3-second aerial scene caused them tons of backlash from a certain area. So honestly, I don't know if this is going to impact anything. I'm seeing people on both sides argue, for this. And look, if the people in that area aren't necessarily up for it and are going, well, I don't like that it's directed by Americans, what can you really do, right? I think this is one of those things where Disney and Marvel are going to keep a close eye on it and see what it inevitably does. I think it's going to have, more of a staying power there than, for example, Disney when they're trying to push Star Wars there, because that just gets rejected. But at the same time, this could be one of those things where it's a soft test for the market for Marvel. We've seen Marvel movies there that are pretty successful and other ones that aren't as. So maybe they're hoping to meet somewhere in the middle or go on the higher end with this. And this reaction, I think they must have known it was going to happen, because they market tested all of this. So they knew there would be some amount of backlash, but it doesn't really matter up until the end, really. The box office result dictates if it worked or not. So we wait for that.